Hi, everyone. Okay. I see. Oh, hi, Dora. Oh, I have the sound up. Now I hear you. James is here and Chaya Carmen is here. Okay. We have 10 minutes till we start, so we're just gonna hang loose. No. Hi, James. Where are you calling in from? Why can't I hear you? I can't hear you, but I don't know why. I don't think you're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, now.
Okay, good. Um, so yeah, I'm calling you from New Jersey
New Jersey. Okay, I've heard of that.
in the US. Yeah,
What city in New Jersey?
it's called Piscataway.
You know about
It's right
Piscataway?
next to New Brunswick.
Next to New Brunswick. Very nice.
Yeah,
Well, welcome.
thank you, thank you.
Ja, je met die hoofd gaan.
Great.
Maybe let's try to call this guy. You know who you didn't succeed in putting people.
I'm not doing more stuff
Oh,
now.
okay, fine. I can ask Laura to do it. Oh, the calling me. Взять additional.
The person I just spoke to is very interested.
Um, you guys can still hear me, right? Okay, good. So I may appear twice
Yes.
because on my desktop, um, wow, it's echo. On my desktop, I don't have a webcam. The webcam is on my laptop. So that's why you see me twice on there. But yeah,
No
it's
problem.
the same person. I just want to show you.
Thank you. No big deal.
Yeah.
Thank you, James.
Hannah, I'm not sure we should mute ourselves. So it starts.
Hi, Eliezer. Good evening. Good afternoon to you. I can't hear you because you're muted, but I see you.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Okay, I'm in Israel, so I get this evening.
Okay, good.
Thank you, Devorah, for all your email. For Deborah.
Deborah, we can't hear you. I don't know why not, even though you're not muted. Now you're muted.
Wait a minute.
We still don't hear you. I don't know why not.
Yeah, I can't hear you.
How's this now? Do you hear me?
Oh, now we hear you. Yes, thank you.
Okay, great. Welcome, everyone. It's nice to see some faces with the names.
Right.
Yes. Deborah, I was so inspired by that film, that video that you sent me about the you can start at any age. I was so inspired that I dyed my hair white.
Excellent.
Like
That was
Rabbi
a-
Elazar ben Azariah. Elazar ben Azariah. Deborah, you'll take a list of attendees?
Yeah.
Thank you. It's 2 minutes to 7, and we'll give people a minute or two to come into the meeting. So we'll give it a few minutes.
This is 55.
It says 58. Welcome, everybody. I'm just giving another minute or two to latecomers, and then we'll get started in just another minute or so. Okay, I see that there's on my Zoom, it says that there's 20 people here, and although James is here twice, but I'm going to call it a quorum, and I'm going to begin, and anybody who comes in late will be able to, oh, here comes a few more people. Lovely. So let me begin by welcoming everybody and thanking you for taking the time to be here this evening or this afternoon, as the case may be, if you're in Israel or if you're in America. And I'm going to begin by presenting myself and Tzomet Career Counseling and Studies and how we got where we are and why we're here and what this program is all about. So let me put myself into presentation mode. Okay. Let me put this down. So my wife and I founded Tzomet Career Counseling and Training over a decade ago to help young people and people not so young to find themselves, to learn about themselves and about opportunities that they have in the international employment market. And so we focus a lot on personality types, understanding the depth of who a person is, what skills they're bringing, what turns them on, what are their professional inclinations. For people in mid-career, what skills do they already have? And what makes them tick, their sources of satisfaction. And those are inner concerns, things from a person's inner world. But of course, getting a job, it means interacting with the outer world. So we very much have our hand on the pulse of industry, and we've been involved in a number of different industries. And it's over the past 5 years or so that we focused on cybersecurity. And I actually worked in that field. My background is in finance. I have a master's from Boston University. And I worked in Homeland Security, a publicly traded company. And then I was working in business development and cybersecurity. And my wife and I realized that there's a golden opportunity here based on a number of factors, which I'm going to lay out right now. And that is that given our approach of professional training, that we're helping people not only to learn what they need to learn, but also then to gain experience through internship programs and to help place them, we're creating pathways towards a satisfying career. We maintain relationships to companies in the industry so that we know what they're looking for. They helped us craft the curriculum for this course, which I will go into more in depth later in this presentation. We are in Israel. Israel's a world leader in cybersecurity, particularly Israel's military. There's a famous unit called 8200. So experts from 8200 helped us put together our curriculum. As I was saying, a person's career and satisfaction and success in their career is a mixture of considerations that come from within them, their personality, what they're looking for, as well as external factors like the job market. Are they looking for full-time, part-time? Economic considerations, do they need to earn a lot of money or don't they? And community expectations, personal expectations, socially, what are they looking for? And so what we found was that in the cybersecurity market, there was a really nice fit for our community because of a number of factors. And let me lay that out. There's a tremendous shortage of talent in the Israeli and international cybersecurity industry. I'm going to show you an exact number of over 500,000 unfilled spots in that industry. The barrier to entry is essentially brains. It's brains and self-discipline. There's a real lot of technical information that you need, skills, in order to come into the industry. But we found that in our community, people have that dedication, that culture of learning, that appreciation of learning, so that we can essentially break that barrier and come into this market. Additional nice factor for us is that no college degree is necessary. It doesn't hurt if you have one, that's great. But a young person who has no college degree is also welcome to the industry, as long as basically they can deliver the goods. The focus is more than anything else on your skills, your hands on the keyboard. There's a really nice reward. The remuneration is on a very high level after just our course is a 1-year course, and people are earning a really nice salary that, you know, they could have spent 4 years or more getting a bachelor's or master's degree, and they wouldn't be earning any better than what they've done based on the education they've gotten in our program. Cybersecurity is also nice. I think it's for everybody, especially for people who are family oriented or have large families, that it's flexible. There are work from home possibilities. Maybe not at the very beginning of your career trajectory, but as you've established yourself and your expertise. So then there are a lot of people in the field, because again, it's cyber. It's all based on networks and the internet, so that it's possible to work from home and have flexible hours. So these make a really nice fit for our community. So that's why we're really focused on this. We've found a really good thing, and we focused on it over the past couple of years and have successfully placed tens of people in this industry. Here's a picture of my beautiful wife, Hannah, speaking at Tel Aviv University. She's standing here next to one of the gurus of women in cyber in Israel. Her name is Karen Elazari. And this is an illustration that we're involved. We're involved in the industry. Tzomet has a really good name in Israel and elsewhere as being leaders of helping people who might not have had exposure to this opportunity and bringing them, sort of bridging the gap between the talent that people have and helping them to focus and learn the skills they need in order to get placed in the industry. I wanted to show you some examples of Haredi women in cyber that have reached really the top level that anyone could desire to get in anything. This is a picture of Anne or Hani Neuberger, who recently Biden tapped her. She was coming from the NSA to be on the National Security Council, head of cyber. So she's a wonderful person and a Haredi woman from Borough Park. Here's another outstanding leader from the Haredi community. Here it says she's an Orthodox woman at the top of Israel's cyber game. And if there's a picture here of her at our Hanukkah party just a few months ago. There's me sitting at the table and she's hovering over. She gave a presentation and serves as a mentor for our students. She's, again, really talented individual who also came from nothing really. She had a degree in mathematics and switched into cyber. Another example of a Haredi guy from Bnei Brak. He's a very young man. I'd say maybe he's closer to 30. His name is Yisrael Gurt, and he's a chassid, and he's a great hacker. And so he founded a company called Reflectees. And I'm actually going to take the opportunity now, because I think it's really enlightening, to see what his company does. And we'll get a little bit of a taste of what the industry of cybersecurity is about. So I'm going to pull up a video that Reflectees has put together and share that with you. Reflectees is focused on providing protection to people's websites through all the technologies that are in the back end of a website. It is possible that the hackers would attack a site by coming in through the back end. So Reflectees is protecting people from those types of threats. So let's take a look.
Okay, let's say you are a CISO. You successfully protect your website against advanced cyber attacks every day. You use the best security solutions: firewalls, WAF, IPS. You are fully secured. Or not? Meet your trusted friends, the web third-party components. These components help your company scale its business and technology. Social media, ads and analytics components, engagement tools, authentication apps, even the JavaScript code your developers download from various online sources. These third parties are already installed on your website, dozens of them, and they're managed remotely. Yeah, it means they can be modified without your knowledge and bypass your precious security perimeter. Groups like the MagCard hackers already exploit them, using them to extract business and private data, causing huge breaches and fines. And yet, the accountability is on your side. So, what can you do about all this? You could remove all these essential third parties, or simply use Reflectees. Reflectees monitors your website, identifying the third parties that are already installed on it and analyzing their behavior, verifying that nothing is compromised, and easily helps mitigate your third-party security and privacy risks from day one. And the greatest part? Reflectease is an external platform which requires no installation, saving you costs and unnecessary headaches. With Reflectease, you get full third-party inventory and an effective risk mitigation for your website from day one. So, don't reinvent the wheel. Just use Reflectease. Reflectease.
So that was sort of a commercial, but I shared it because A, it's a Haredi guy who started the company and he's hot stuff, but also just to give us an insight a little bit into how the hackers are working, that they're smarter, they're too smart to come head on. So they're coming through the back end to attack websites. We'll speak in a few moments about the giant attack that they made through SolarWinds recently, and where they came through the back end. So let me put my presentation back up. Okay. So who works in the field of cybersecurity? It's not surprising that 42% of the people come from the intelligence community, which means they work for the Shabak or for the CIA or the FBI or the local police or something like that, or the military. Some come from fraud research at commercial companies, some come from law enforcement. But the number that I want to share is that 34% of the people who enter the industry have no prior experience. So that means they're starting from scratch. Nobody was born knowing cybersecurity. So the question is, at what stage of your career is a person beginning to learn it? And I'm going to share in just a moment another little video about getting into the industry. But what I would like to share now is the concept that the cybersecurity industry, and I'm going to show you a map of many different job titles and focuses within the industry, and that there are many different personality types who can all really flourish in this industry. There are people who are detail-oriented and like regulations and so forth, and they have a place. There are people who are lawbreakers, but they know they need to not get in trouble, so they are red team, what are called ethical hackers or white hat hackers. There are people who are like good teachers. There are people and who like to share and teach. And there's a lot of space and many jobs for training in the cybersecurity industry. And then of course, research and development for rocket scientists who are interested really in how technology works and learning more about the depth of it. So for all different kinds of people, cybersecurity presents really valuable opportunity. I have here another a video that I'm going to share with you. So here I go. This, again, it's about it's an introduction to cybersecurity. Let me make sure I get the sound. And yeah, and talking about the different people who can succeed in this field. So here we go.
There's more advanced technology in your phone than it took to get America to the moon. The apps and games of today were the subject of science fiction just 30 years ago. But with technology changing so fast, it can be hard to know what's going to happen next, or where the next threat is going to come from. As someone raised with advanced modern technology, you have experience that experts a few decades ago would never have imagined. And you're going to have opportunities to turn that experience into a profitable career. This presentation is a quick introduction to the growing field of cybersecurity and how to get started on the path to a cybersecurity job. Cybersecurity is usually defined as the use of techniques or skills to protect data, networks, and systems from attack. Everyone knows someone who's been hacked, or has had their identity stolen, or even just lost control of their Facebook for a few hours. And there's always bigger attacks in the news. Data breaches at major companies means that millions of people can have their data stolen and sold on the black market. Hackers can use this data to make money, find more data to sell, or even ruin their victims' lives just for the fun of it. That's where cybersecurity comes in. Cybersecurity experts are the ones who are able to fight cyber criminals on their own turf, stopping them from accessing important information and keeping people safe. There's currently a cybersecurity skills shortage in the United States. There simply aren't enough people to fill all of the available jobs, and the problem keeps getting bigger. See, hackers don't have to be smart. The internet is full of tutorials about how to use pre-made scripts and attacks to wreck someone else's day. Most hackers don't know a lot about computers and don't take time for special training or study. They just grab that pre-made script and go cause a mess. That means there's millions of low-level hackers out there. Cybersecurity experts, on the other hand, are fewer but more valuable. They've taken the time to study a problem and know how to use their talents. That means cybersecurity experts can be harder to find, and they're desperately needed. Think of it this way. Even if an enemy hacker is only level 1, 50 enemies can still overrun a fortress. You need at least one level 50 cybersecurity expert to beat them all. Here are a few of the many kinds of jobs that you might see in the cybersecurity field. Graphic designer. Michelle is an artist. She works for a cybersecurity firm designing posters and creating eye-catching images to teach people about security. Social engineering trainer. Lee is an actor. He understands how to portray emotion and tell a convincing story, so he teaches other people how to tell when someone is lying or trying to scam them. Network security admin. Joe likes puzzles and problem solving. She's good at spotting when something doesn't fit a pattern, so she monitors the computer networks and is the first to see when a hacker is trying to break in. Social media consultant. Hendrik was on Tumblr before anyone else. He always knows what's trending before it even trends, and has seen all the scam emails and messages that get sent around. He works as a consultant, explaining the possible dangers of social media to people who don't know much about it. Ethical hacker. Adam used to want to be a hacker. Instead, he joined up with a security firm and became an ethical hacker, which lets him do the same thing legally. Adam's job is to play the role of cyber criminal, testing targeted systems and seeing if he can break into them. If you think cybersecurity sounds like a good fit for you, then great. You're in for a wild ride with a lot of challenges and opportunities. Here's a few things you can do to start preparing for a career in cybersecurity. Take courses online. There are a lot of online training programs like Coursera. Remember, though, that many programs are scams and don't offer real certifications, so always research the course and double-check with your parents to be sure you're getting a real program. Practice, practice, practice. Play with code and talk to other people who are interested in computers and security. Find a mentor. Ask your teacher or a family member who knows about cybersecurity if they'll mentor you. See if you can arrange a visit to a local technology company and ask about what kind of attacks they have to deal with. You'll hear some good stories. Join a camp. Many organizations offer tech boot camps to teach you the basics of security, programming, and even ethical hacking. Participate in competitions. Challenges such as the Global Cyber Olympics will give you a chance to test your skills against other people of varying skill levels, and prizes include free courses, streaming video, and cash. This skills gap means that you have a very valuable opportunity. Chances are you've grown up with a PC, a smartphone, a tablet, or all three. If you're 18, you could have 12 years of experience using a computer, and that means you already know things that older generations have had to be trained on. And let's be honest, the money can be pretty good too. The one thing that most intimidates people about cybersecurity or any computer job is the idea that you need to know how to program a computer. While understanding and writing code can be very valuable skills, a lot of employers would prefer someone who's smart and willing to learn over someone who can do code and nothing else. Often, the answer is yes. A bachelor's degree in computer science, for example, can be very helpful in understanding cybersecurity. However, if you don't want to go to college, you can still learn a lot of things on your own that will make it easier to break into cybersecurity. Thanks to the internet, you have an incredible amount of information at your fingertips. Today, we went over the basics of cybersecurity and cybersecurity careers. We reviewed what cybersecurity is and why it's a growing industry, as well as a few of the jobs that are open for different skill sets. Finally, we went over what you can do to be a part of the cybersecurity field. Thanks for taking the time for our presentation.
So that was a generic introduction to cybersecurity and the field and the possibilities. That I also thought it was well done and showed that there's opportunities for all different kinds of people and that it's a growing market. So let me go on. Another question that I get a lot is, people ask, am I too old for this? And I have another video that I would like to share. I'm going to share just a few seconds of it, but they ask that question head on. And I think it's really nice to hear what they have to say, because people do ask this question in their 20s, their 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. So let me show you that. Oops. Okay.
The top questions that I've received, lots of people ask this, and it's quite
right this moment. There is a mad rush in America. Apple, Amazon, Facebook doesn't.
funny because the ranges were quite wide. People were asking, David, I'm in my 20s. Is it too late for me to get into cybersecurity? David, I'm in my 30s. I'm in my 40s. I'm in my 50s.
Oh, wow.
Is it too late for me to get into this industry? So question for you then is it too late for someone 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever, to get into cybersecurity?
All right. So hang on. This is going to be industry crushing secrets right here. Everybody ready? The answer is no, you are not too old. And so that's the short answer, right? So you can cut the video right there. We're done. No, the answer is no. Neil gave you the answer. The long answer to this is like, and I talk about this extensively, is there are 3.5 million open cybersecurity jobs right now. It is no doubt that people hear it and they talk about it all the time. There is a lack of talent in the pipeline when it comes to cybersecurity. And so, no, this is a career field where, if you've got the desire to learn and you can put in the effort and you can get out there, you can absolutely start in cybersecurity at any age and succeed in it. Here's what I tell people, and this is what I think holds a lot of folks back is, and especially when you talk about folks who are transitioning, maybe away from, a career that maybe wasn't IT or wasn't necessarily cyber into cyber. You have marketable skills from the 10 or 15 or 14 years that you've been doing whatever it was you were doing before you decided to go into cybersecurity. I do a ton of resume reviews.
So that's a really important point that we talk about, is that wherever you're holding in life, you've been doing something. And so you're bringing skills with you. And the cybersecurity market, because it is really broad, has a place for people with all different kinds of skills. And so that was the idea that I wanted to share, that it's not too late, you're not too old. It's a question of really desire. And let me focus more now on what exactly are the main criteria to succeed in the field of cybersecurity. So the first one is curiosity, love of learning. Because as we said, the technology will continue to advance. And of course, it's advancing really fast and the bad guys are exploiting it. So the good guys have to also keep learning to stay ahead of the bad guys. It's cat and mouse. The game will never be over. It's a great attention to detail, having a hands-on approach to things, because the information is super detailed. You're working with very detailed and sophisticated digital tools. So that's important, that you like to get down to that degree of resolution. Creative problem solving. You can't figure it out, you're trying, but you're gonna come around the back door. That's really helpful in this field. I wrote also being calm under pressure. That if a person gets too flustered and upset when things don't go right, so that's not a good approach. You wanna stay cool and overcome. Something that our teacher says many times in the course is that the master has failed more times than the beginner has even tried. And like I said, nobody was born knowing how to solve cybersecurity issues. You become a master by failing many, many times, but continuing to try more times than you fail. That's what brings you to success. So it's a persistence. I want to share a little bit more about the background of the industry, what it's about, and to say something sort of shocking, that we're at war, right? We're in a cyber war, whether you like it or not. And there's books about that, and it touches all of us in our lives in everything we do. There was this giant hack, the biggest hack of 2020, and these things happen real world, real time, but they affect all of us with our credit cards, our bank accounts. We're all exposed here. I have here a picture of cyber criminals. Some of them are from Korea, China, Iran, Russia, Ukraine. There's bad guys in Israel too. There's all kinds. Cyber hacking is appealing to criminals because if you want to rob a bank, you'd have to get a gun and you'd be in danger of getting caught. But if you want to hack a bank, it's very unlikely that you'll get caught, and there's no violence involved. So it's white collar crime. So it's very attractive to people. I'm going to show you now something that's happened because of coronavirus, COVID virus. More people who have lost their jobs are actually turning to cybercrime as a solution. So here I just want to share the idea that we're all exposed, we're on the front. Because when wars were fought by armies, so if I'm not in the army, it doesn't affect me. But in cyber war, we are all exposed. Cybercrime is a clear, present, and permanent danger. It's a permanent condition, but the actors, threats, and techniques are dynamic. And that's why we need to train people who are devoted to keeping up, because we're in the global village with good and bad guys together, so we have to be on guard. I have here a slide showing a few different types of cyber attacks. There's something called a DDoS attack, where they're overwhelming a website and knocking it down. There's SQL injections going into a database and disrupting, defacement of websites, account hijacking, and all other kinds of attacks. And again, the list grows all the time. And there's sort of certain trends, because like we saw in the video, a lot of the hackers are buying their attack vectors. They can go onto what's called the dark web and buy scripts, code that knows how to get into other people's computers and cause damage or steal stuff. This is a report by Deloitte, international accounting and consultancy firm, about cybersecurity post-COVID. I don't have to tell you that the world is a very different place today than it was a year ago. So first of all, there's been a real lot of phishing and ransomware attacks. Ransomware is where they put malware onto your computer and say, we're locking your files, or we're going to send out an embarrassing picture of you unless you send us a certain amount of money in Bitcoin. So there's ransomware attacks, phishing attacks. They're trying to get you to give them your personal information by pretending to be someone that you might trust, or I'm a Nigerian prince and I have $20 million, but I need to transfer some of it to your bank account. Just please give me your bank details. So that's not for real. COVID's impact on cybersecurity, increased security risk because a lot of people are working from home. So there's more room to get into a network. Exposed physical security, the plant or the office might be empty. So someone's got to be watching the shop. Businesses have to have a continuity plan for future global pandemics. Okay, we shouldn't have them. Potential delay in cyber attack detection and response. An influx of cyber criminals. And that's what I mentioned, that because people have been laid off or the regular business isn't going, so they think, okay, maybe I'll try hacking for a living. So companies need to adopt a post-COVID-19 cybersecurity posture. And again, we're talking about training people to be the good guys and to learn how to essentially protect and to fight cybercrime. Part of what goes on in our cyber class is staying up to date with the market, which there's a lot of good websites and periodicals, and staying on top of the developing technology, again, the threat vectors and other things in the field. I wanted to share a take-home point for everybody, and that is the importance of good long passwords. So it says here that 1,464 is the number of government officials in one state using password 123 as their password. So never do that. Make good, long, hard passwords, something that's not easy to guess in order to protect yourself. One of the drivers of the cybersecurity industry are regulations and standards. And we have these in Israel. We have something called Chok Haganat HaPratiyut. In America, you have a number, you have SOX compliance. In Europe, they have GDPR. The credit card companies have their own standards regulation. ISO is international. HIPAA is about medical information. And so companies have an obligation in order to conform to the relevant regulations, and they want to have a standard on their product or service. So they have to live up to certain standards of cybersecurity. And for example, one of the things that might be called for in those security protocols is that they're conducting penetration testing on a quarterly basis or a semi-annual basis. So one of the drivers for employment in this field is the fact that companies need to conform to regulations and standards, so they need to hire cybersecurity people in order to keep them up to speed. These regulations have teeth in them. If companies do not comply, so they could have tremendous fine. Facebook was slapped with a $5 billion fine. It's something that's really real, and again, a major driver of business. As we've heard a number of times, there's a cybersecurity skills shortage, and it's actually currently getting worse. It's partly because of educational programs and just there is a certain barrier of getting people that are willing to make the effort, the investment to learn the technical skills necessary. So it's a growing field that presents a lot of opportunities. I want to share now a little bit about how we've structured our curriculum and what you can expect if you take the course. So I'll start with an overview that taking the course means attending class, which is held once a week for 5 hours. It's on Sundays. It's in the afternoon in US hours and the evening for Israeli hours. The classes are all recorded. So if for any reason you can't come to class on some week, you're able to see the recording at any time. We put up a YouTube video, a private YouTube video, as well as in a Google Drive. We have a lot of energy in Slack channels where our students are collaborating and helping each other, motivating and with information and problem solving. So that's a really valuable aspect of the class, as opposed to just sort of learning cybersecurity on your own. So the teacher assigns homework and labs that a student should expect to put another 8 to 15 hours a week, in addition to the 5 hours of class time. You need to really make an investment. Like everything else, you get out of it what you put in. And if one just showed up to class, it wouldn't work at all, because the whole concept here is to really immerse you in the world of cybersecurity, get you working on it, and using the skills and the tools to make you a really valuable member of the field. So there are assignments which include research assignments, and as well as programming. It's basic programming using Python. And I was just today in class seeing what the students came up with. Very, very impressive projects of composing their own scripts that they've created tools that can really be useful in ethical hacking. In addition to the certification that Tzomet gives at the completion of the course, there are international certifications. I'm going to talk more about that in a moment, that the course prepares you for. There are many, many outside resources. That was one of the reasons that I showed you so many videos. I wanted to show you that the course isn't just, soaking up the information from a single text or place, but it's about research, going out there. This is an internet-based industry, and so students are expected to go out and bring more information and to access resources out there. At the end of the course, there's a final project, which students are, again, doing something that they'll be able to present to potential employers and say, this is what I've done, this is what I know how to do. One of the greatest, the value proposition of Tzomet's program are the internships that we help students gain experience actually working in cyber companies, whether remotely or on site. We've had a lot of success in that. Many of our students have been hired by the same companies where they did their internship, or if not, then they have the internship to put on their resume as having actual experience in the field. So we're very focused on, again, not just teaching you about cybersecurity, but really doing cybersecurity, putting you into an internship position, and then placing you in a job. And we've had, Baruch Hashem, a lot of success in that. We help you write your CV, prepare for the interview, and really develop your LinkedIn profile and really make it happen. So just to give you a briefest overview of the topics in the course, it begins with understanding your computer and computer networks. Virtualization means that you can run more than one computer at a time on your computer. We learn about the operating systems, Windows and Linux. Scripting means actual basic programming, not using the language BASIC, but Python. Web components, information security, what this is really all about. And then the second half of the course is focused CEH and OSCP. CEH is a certified ethical hacker, and OSCP is an offensive security certification, certified personnel, something like that. So it's about teaching you to be an ethical hacker. But it is more than that. Take a look at this very colorful slide, branches of the cybersecurity field. So this is a beautiful slide, which I found online, of cybersecurity domains. I'll just read you the names of the domains: security architecture, security career development, frameworks and standards, physical security, risk assessment, governance. There's a realm called GRC, governance, risk, and compliance, which is about laws and regulations for people like auditing and so forth, and speaking to management. Threat intelligence, seeing what's out there, what are they planning, what are they doing, sharing intel. User education, I mentioned that, about training other people to be more responsible and safety conscious online. And of course, an obvious one, security operations, being an actual SOC, we call it, a security operations center, where you have really sophisticated software that is all the time monitoring the network to really see everything that's going on. And when something doesn't look right, it raises a flag. So there's tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 SOC analysts. A number of our graduates are working successfully in that field. So the take-home point from this slide is that it's not like you're training to be a bookkeeper and you'll be a bookkeeper. You're entering a field that has tens of different, essentially, domains and so many different job titles whose day at the office is very different. So there is a great range and variety of different skill sets and things that you may be doing in your career, but that our course is going to give you the basis, the foundation to go in the path which suits you and that you find opportunity for yourself. So I spoke about certifications. I wrote here that they're nice to have, they are not must have. We do have many students who are placed and earning a nice living in the field who do not have a cybersecurity certification. So it's not something you must have, but it's nice to have, and some of the companies are helping the students to even pay for the tests. The test costs maybe $300 or something like that. And they're offered by a number of different international companies. CompTIA and Cisco has their own stuff. So there's a number of different certification pathways. I've portrayed one here of CompTIA. Their very first test, ITF, is to see if you're fit for the industry. A+ is about the computer. Networks is about networking, then security plus, and then more advanced infrastructure pathway or professional skills and so forth. So this is part of being in the industry, of growing also your certification portfolio. One of our teachers, Leo Christovich, has a long list of different certifications. And even people who have been in the field a decade or two, they continue studying for these tests and all the time grow their knowledge and even test it in these formal testing environments. So again, that is something, if you are a test taker or you love learning, so this is a really good pathway for you. I'm getting near the end, showing you, again, emphasizing some numbers about the cybersecurity talent gap. It shows here 521,000 job openings in the cybersecurity industry. I actually had this slide in a previous presentation 6 months ago, And since then, the gap has grown. At that time, it was 509,000. Now it's 21,000. So again, there's a great need for more people to enter this field. How much does a person earn in the field? So as I said, it's lucrative. I took a few different positions here from the internet. How much does a SOC analyst make in the US? The answer was an average of 104,000. How much does a GRC security person make? And here in Tel Aviv, it's at $122,000, which is 60 bucks an hour or $10,000 a month. So, you know, that's a very high salary, especially considering that a person they haven't gone, you know, to law school or medical school. They've taken a one-year course and then gained some experience to get a position like this. Here's similar numbers about a cyber incident responder salary, also 110,000. So you're not going to get this salary immediately upon exiting the course. You're going to have to gain some experience. But after a year or two or three, these are the kinds of salaries that are common in the industry. I did want to share two particular stories of something we called Cyber Stars. As I mentioned, our program is focused on the employment market. So we're not just teaching you about cybersecurity and using the tools, but we're exposing you to mentors and people who have made it for themselves. So here's a woman, Moran Frieder, an Israeli woman, and she's working as a technical trainer. And she gave a presentation to our class a few weeks ago. And she's a people person. She loves to teach. She loves to learn. So she learns technology, new things going on, and then she teaches them in her company. And she's earning over $10,000 a month, and she works from home and has time for her children. Like in the afternoon, she doesn't work. She has flexible hours. So she works on her own schedule, a mother's schedule, and earns really beautiful living doing something that she loves and is talented at. Jennifer Habshush is a student of ours. She completed our course last year, and she has a great job now in the field in GRC, in risk management. And so she's doing things that she's really talented and loves to do, in filling out questionnaires, cybersecurity questionnaires in terms of a company. Before they are going to share data or their platform, they need to know that the people using it are not going to bring malware and viruses into their system. So there are cybersecurity employees who are sort of controlling these processes. So Jennifer's working like that. And after, again, she talked about a salary in the range of 12 to 15,000 shekels a month. So in Israel, you know, that's a really nice salary for a person so young and just starting out in the field. So that's my presentation. I'm happy now to take questions. Anything you might like to ask about the course or the field.
I can ask, please.
Yeah, go ahead.
To know, how do I know that this field is good for me? If I'm going to invest all the time and money into the course, how do I know that it would be good fit?
Good question. Again, we'd be happy to meet you offline and give you some guidance in that. But I would ask, you know, what do you like to do? What do you like to do, you know, in your free time? You know, what are you about? And if you're the kind of person that likes a Sudoku, or you like, you know, math puzzles or logic puzzles, or if you like technology, or if you like taking things apart, you know, you see a piece of, you know, electronics and you think, how does that work? These types of nitiyot, of inclinations, are indicative that you're someone that would, you know, flourish in a field like this. If you can't stand sitting in front of a computer screen for more than a few hours at a time, so this probably isn't for you, okay? It is possible that after you would get the basic education in the field, you may not spend all your time in front of a screen. You may be out in training or troubleshooting or sales or doing a million different things. But there is, of course, a lot of interaction between man and machine at the computer. So that is something that, you know, you should appreciate, you know, technical stuff in order to have a sense that this is for you. We do have, I saw a question there, someone asked about an aptitude test. I know some of you have already taken our logic test that we give. So we do have a test that if a person, if they start crying and they can't finish the logic test, so then we see the course is not for them. But if they're able to, you know, get a significant, a reasonable score to pass the logic test, that's indicative to us that in terms of aptitude, they're ready for the course. And again, if people, offline have questions, or we are experts in helping people find a field that's that they can really succeed in. Where's the test available? So you'll email, whether you've been in email contact with Dvora Englander, she's here, or on our website, Tzomet Counseling. So we'll be in touch with us, and we will send you the test. What is the level of math you need to learn cybersecurity? So I would say the multiplication table. We're not talking about higher math here. Again, any skills that a person brings, it's wonderful, and you could do stuff with it. But there's not like, oh, if you didn't have calculus or trigonometry, you can't do it. It's not like that. It's not advanced math. It's logic, and there's some binary, but it's not higher math. Is your qualification recognized internationally? So as I said, at the conclusion of our course, we are giving students certification that they've taken our course. And, we've had, Baruch Hashem, over 100 graduates. But in terms of the world, that needs 500,000 cybersecurity experts, we're a drop in the bucket. So we do not claim that, we're a recognized name all over the world. What we do say is that our course is preparing you for, as I mentioned, the 3 or 4 companies that offered international certification. So that's something that you might want to do. We've actually had students now, just a few weeks ago, we had a student who already passed a cybersecurity test while he's taking the course. And now he has his eyes set on the next one. So there is international certification that one will be essentially prepared for by taking the course. Somebody asked a cute question about how are they compared to Gemara logic. So Gemara logic is great. It means you know the question, you know the answer, there's 2 different ways of looking at it. So that type of stuff is helpful. If you have that kind of logical mind and you enjoy that, so then you're in a good place. Let me open the chat so I can see more. Do we have the course in Hebrew? We have run in the past the course in Hebrew, but at this time,
certifications are in English.
the certifications are in English. The field is in English. Even in Israel, the people in the field, are basically doing it in English. So it is an English language field. I would mention for anybody here who is in Israel, if you are an English speaker, so that's already a super valuable asset. And again, you have to know how to cash in the assets you have. So if you know how to read and write in English and speak English comfortably, so you're really valuable to the Israeli cybersecurity companies. If you're an American, you speak English, that's a good start, but it doesn't really give you a leg up on anybody else. How far into the course does the internship start? So it varies. And again, if we have students sometimes who are coming with some background, whether in cyber or in computer programming, so they're ready a little earlier. But just to give you an example, we have students who are studying right now in the course. They began in September, October, November, December, January, 5 months in, and they're now starting their internships. I'm putting my contact. Okay. Oh, thank you, Dwara. You put your contact. Okay. Is it possible to work part-time in the field? Yes. Again, starting, you'll probably have to make a full-time commitment. Not necessarily. We have had students that even started in part-time, but again, as your experience increases, your skills level increase, your value increases to the marketplace. And it also depends sort of which branch, like I showed you different domains. In certain domains, let's say like as PT, penetration testing. So that's very often as a consultant, and you do it on your own time, and it could be part-time. So there definitely are part-time opportunities in the field. Does a large percentage of participants drop out? Good question. So the answer is no. A small percentage of participants drop out, but it's not for everybody. There is a barrier to entry. Otherwise, it wouldn't be so well paid. And it is challenging. So you do have to be ready for the challenge. So some people, that don't make it, but a vast majority that are making the commitment coming in, they see it to the end. Okay, somebody asked for Simon Levine asks about the payment. There's a certain date after you've taken the course, then you have to barring unforeseen circumstances, you pay for the full tuition. But there's about a month or 2 at the beginning of the course that you could check it out. But I would mention the following. We have some students who have taken the course in the past, a number of women who have had babies in the middle, and so they're still with us. We're a nonprofit organization that is dedicated to helping people advance their career. So we have people that took the course last year, but are essentially still taking the course this year. We don't ask them for more money for that. They are part of the Tzomet family. And so now they have access to all of our classes, which again, as I said, are recorded and available online for people who are in. And so they took 6 months off to have a baby or be with their baby, but now they're getting up to speed to begin to, forage out into the marketplace. So if a person, had something that they were unable to continue at a certain time, that doesn't mean that they've lost their investment or their learning. It means that they can make it up at a later date. You only have one start date per year. So the truth is, this is our second starting date this year. We started in September and now we're starting in February. So that's essentially our plan. Have you had students who have taken the course and proceeded direction of CISSP track? If so, does the course cover certain elements of this track? Yes, look, the course is broad as a foundation. And in order to really, to be there and to be a valuable member of the industry, you have to do outside learning. And so people make decisions for themselves. What do they want to focus on? So that is definitely a possibility. We have had people do that. Okay, Hannah K says she's a graduate and she's heading in that direction. Thank you, Hannah K. Okay, James says, thank you, very good. Are live internships opportunities in the US? Yes, that is something that we're working on. We have had some people in internships and job placement there, and we're working right now on growing that. And as we get further along in the current course, and of course then in the upcoming course, we will grow those opportunities. Does one have to be good at computer tech problems? You don't have to be good at that today, but you have to want to be good at that. So if I call help to my brother-in-law, my computer makes problems, does that mean this is not for me? I like the question, Malia, really honest question. When my computer doesn't work, I start crying. And so I'm not working in the technical aspects of cybersecurity. It's not for me in that respect. You have to want to deal with the technical challenges. Again, not every job in the field is really focused on technical challenges. The aspects of the field that I was involved in were business development, threat analysis, understanding the threats and so forth. It was more of a research position. So not everything is, fixing computers, but that's a good place to start. We have students in the UK and we are setting them also up in internships there. That is right. Do you need to be located in the country of internship? Good question. And the answer is no. We have a relationship with a cybersecurity company that offers also training and internships. They're located in Australia. And we have a nice relationship with them. They actually they give their internship to women for free because they are philanthropists and they're trying to raise the percentage of women in the industry. But for men, it costs money, but because they recognize that we're also do-gooders. So for Tzomet, the internship, which is again remote, it's in Australia, but it's online and that's available to all of our students. Can one join the course using only filtered internet? Yes, a lot of our students have filtered internet at home. You're going to learn in the course how to make do with that. So this short answer is yes, it's doable. Job options. Okay, you're gonna have to grow and deal with that question. You'll maybe have a work computer or whatever, so there'll have to be some flexibility on that front. But we do have, we have some very, very firm people who have taken our course and come from, a total base Yaakov background and haven't really compromised their fundamental standards, and they are working successfully in the field. Hannah or Dvoras, or would you like to add something? I don't know.
I would like to. Okay. I would like to.
I'm going to present my wife to say a few words about Tzomet and our mission in the course.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. My name is Hannah Ratner, and I'm a head of Tzomet. Actually, I have here great people who are our students, and now they're my partners, and they're my friends, and they're my family. It's Hannah and Dvora, and we feel like that it's a place for people who are really want to succeed and want to work hard and ready to invest themselves and ready for real success and for real work world. So we are welcoming everyone, and we're here to answer your questions and to be here for you and to find for you the right internships and to find for the right job. I always say your success is my success. Tzomet's success is built on your success as a student. And when I call companies and when I talk to the companies, I always say, you know, come and look at our students, and you will see that we have a real talent here. People who really devoted, people who are really talented, people who are ready to work hard. Just try and see. And it's very convincing because I really believe in my students. I try to find people who are talented. That's the people that I want to be part of our course. I'm looking for people who are motivated. I want people who want to succeed. And then when we have like those kind of people, companies and the market is looking for you, like people who are looking for a job, they don't understand that the employers are looking for you. Okay, and if we're gonna give you the right skills, they want you more than you want them. You know, they're here and they're ready to employ you and they want you. It's just what I need to do. It's to connect and to bring the talent and the industry together. So this is what we hope for, and that's why we want you to be part of this success. So thank you so much, and we hope to see you in the course.
I see a few more questions here. And again, can one join the course using, okay, yeah, we saw that. People good at auditing rules and regulations, someone who have these skills but not good at tech still do well in the field, absolutely. It's a learning and it's a growth opportunity. So if you're interested in learning and growing and taking the challenge, so then you can succeed.
Tell them that they have a month because we're really trying to bring the right people in. They have a month to start to try it, and then they. You know.
Yeah. Again, like I mentioned, that the first month of the course is sort of a la carte, meaning you could pay for just the first month and you say, hey, this is too hard, or it's not for me, or it's more technical than I thought, whatever, I need to drop out. So you could do that. So you have the opportunity to try it out. Are there opportunities to interact directly with instructors? Yes, that's one of the highlights of our course. Our instructors are super devoted. And so, like I said, there's a Slack channel. Maybe you don't all know what that is, but that's a place where you interact online, direct messaging with the instructor, so that they're taking an interest in your success and you're able to send them emails essentially, and they are there for you over the course of the week. Okay, so
just when we're starting, so they need to sign by a certain date.
Yeah, we're planning to start first class February 14th. Today is January 31st, so that's in 2 weeks from today. So
they should sign in next week.
Yeah, so by the end of this week, we'd like to have the final list of who's in and who's out. So Deborah Erlinger is handling the registration forms and so forth, and she has put her email here, and we'll send it out again to everybody who was here in the meeting, and give you the opportunity to ask any questions offline and to contact us. So we look forward to, thank you again, Deborah. So thank you everybody for being here. Again, feel free through our site or email to contact us. Someone here has asked, Wolf, I'm coming from an IT background. I'm slightly familiar with Kali. Is it possible to get an internship sooner? Yes, the basic answer to that is yes. Yes, and when you're ready, they'll be ready. Okay, everybody, thank you very much. Wishing you all the best.
Can I add something small?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
So I think many of us have conversed over email over the last few weeks. And so I'm in the course now, the course that began in August. And I think at the beginning, many of us felt overwhelmed. There's a tremendous amount to know. But I just wanted to say you'd be surprised week after week how you build up your knowledge and how you build up the skills to learn more. And then you look back and you're just shocked by how much you learned in such a short time. So if any of this was overwhelming for someone, it's amazing what you can do. It shouldn't be underestimated, especially with the lots of encouragement and support. And we really interact a lot with the teacher. I think we drive him crazy, actually. We have so many questions and he encourages it because he wants us all to learn. And that was all that I wanted to add. And if there's anyone in here in the room who I haven't been in touch with, and I might not have your email address, so drop me a line and we'll be in touch.
Thank you so much, Deborah. Yeah, I would just close with a short story like that of a young lady who took the course, and her father called me and she was crying. She doesn't know what's going on, and she was overwhelmed by the amount of knowledge. And today she's working in the field very successfully. And it does take time to get to feel acclimated and to learn how to swim in it. And it can't really happen overnight because, again, it's its own world of technology and understanding. And so, as Dora said, it's week after week, and you're doing the exercises and doing the reading and research and listening and going over things, and it gradually sinks in, and you become a member of this field, which is it's an elite field. It's a field of brave people who are defending civilization against its enemies. Not to make it overly dramatic, but it's really important. Cybersecurity is really important for all of us. So again, I wish you all the best of luck. We are here for you. Reach out, and we hope to see you in first day of class. Thanks everybody for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks.